Hi, welcome to Creative Ramblings. Today I would like to talk to you about varnish. Now before we start, I wanted to let you know that the products and techniques shown in this video are meant to be used with acrylic paintings only. There are several reasons to apply varnish to a finished painting. First and foremost, you want to protect your painting from dust and dirt. Acrylic stays slightly sticky and dust will actually get stuck to the surface of your painting if you leave it unvarnished. The second reason is you want to protect it from UV light. You don't want it to fade or discolor over time. And lastly, I use my varnish to decide whether I want my painting to be glossy, matte or semi-glossy when it's finished. Now I'll give you some examples. This painting over here has been finished with a glossy finish. As you can see, it gives you very nice deep blacks, and in color, the colors also get very, very vibrant. But if you put it at an angle towards the light, you can see there's a lot of reflection, and especially if you have a piece that has a lot of texture, this could be distracting from your image. Now this painting over here has been varnished with a matte varnish, and you can definitely see the difference in color. Like this is actually black, but it looks almost gray when you put a matte varnish on top of it. But as you can see, there's no reflection at all. Now a third option would be to use a semi-gloss, which is color-wise and reflection-wise kind of in the middle. And that's totally up to you. That really depends on what you like, and I personally always decide depending on the type of painting and the amount of texture and the colors. Now when choosing a varnish, there's some things you need to look for. First of all, you want to make sure that the varnish is removable, because you want to be able to clean or restore your painting in the future if that will be necessary. And you want to make sure that your varnish has some sort of UV light protection. I choose to work with golden polymer varnishes that have a UV light stabilizer, and they are water-based, which means that cleanup is very, very easy. But when I do a matte or semi-gloss finish, I will use an archival spray for the final 2 layers, just to make the finish nice and even and to prevent any visible brush strokes. You can use the spray on top of the water-based polymer varnish, but for obvious reasons you cannot do it the other way around. When applying varnish, you want to make sure you always follow the manufacturer instructions. In this case, Golden advises you to apply an isolation coat before applying the varnish. I apply a layer of the fluid, glossy acrylic medium for that purpose, which I let dry for about 24 hours before applying my varnish. As you can see, the packaging of this product states that it's a gloss medium / varnish, but that's actually incorrect. This is not a varnish. It is not removable, it has no UV protective qualities, and dust and dirt will stick to it over time. So while it's perfect as a painting medium and works great as an isolation coat, it should not be used as a varnish. When the isolation coat has completely dried, I will start applying the varnish. Now Golden always advises to thin out the varnish slightly, and how much depends on the type of application you're going to use, whether you're going to use a brush or a spray. In this case I'm going to use a brush, which means I need to take 1 part of water and 4 parts of varnish, and then you put them together. Then you have to mix it well. And after you've mixed it, we need to let it sit for a while to get rid of the bubbles before we start application. All of my paintings are treated with at least 6 layers of varnish. Now when you work with a matte or a semi-gloss varnish, you want to make sure you never apply more than 2 layers, because there's a risk of cloudiness and loss of clarity. So I will always apply 4 layers of glossy varnish first, and then finish with 2 layers of either a glossy, a semi-gloss or a matte varnish. So when you apply your varnish, you want your painting to be level on a flat surface, and I like to suspend my paintings on wooden beams just so the varnish doesn't glue my painting to the table. And also you want to make sure that while the painting is drying, it's not disturbed and there's no risk of any dust or particles settling onto the varnish while it is still drying. I will be using a nice wide flat brush with split ends, so the varnish can be spread out nice and evenly. You want to dip your brush about 1/3 of the way, and then you want to spread out the varnish in one direction, nice and even. You don't want to apply too much, you want a thin layer, but you want to apply enough so it evenly covers your painting. And to get a nice even coverage, you're going to apply your layers crosswise, letting each layer dry between 3 to 6 hours in between. I usually apply one layer in the morning and then one layer in the late afternoon, which means that varnishing and painting completely, including the isolation layer, will take me about 4 days. If you have any questions about this process or the products that I've used, please post them in the comments below and I will try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Thanks for watching this video. Please consider liking it and sharing with your friends. And of course, new subscribers are always welcome. I will see you all in 2 weeks with more creative ramblings, and for now, stay creative. Bye!